There's an animal that can lose a part of its body and simply grow it back, not scar over, not partially recover, fully rebuild it, a limb, an organ, even parts of its brain, and in some cases, even more than that. Because for certain animals, damage isn't the end of the body, it's just the beginning of rebuilding it. One of the most well-known examples is the axolotl. At first glance, it looks unusual, small, soft, almost permanently young. It lives in water, with delicate external gills extending from its head. Nothing about it suggests strength, but what it can do is something most animals can't even attempt. If an axolotl loses a limb, it doesn't just heal the wound, it replaces the entire structure. Bone, muscle, nerves, blood vessels, skin, all rebuilt, exactly where it was before. And not just once, multiple times. The same limb can be regrown again, and again. Which raises an obvious question. How does the body know what to rebuild? Because regeneration isn't just growth, it's precise. The new limb has to match the old one. Correct size, correct shape, correct function. And somehow, the axolotl does this without confusion. The process begins almost immediately after injury. Cells near the wound start to change. They don't stay specialized. Instead, they revert to a more flexible state. A state where they can become different types of tissue again. Almost like going backward to rebuild forward. These cells gather at the site of the injury, forming a structure called a blastema. This becomes the foundation for regrowth. From here, the body begins reconstructing what was lost. Layer by layer, guided by signals that control position and structure, which is why the result isn't random. It's accurate and functional. But the axolotl isn't the only example. There are even more extreme cases. Flatworms, also known as planarians, can take this further, much further. If a planarian is cut into pieces, each piece can regrow into a complete individual, not just repair itself. Become a full organism, which means with goats, one becomes many, each with its own structure, its own function, its own behavior, and that challenges something fundamental, because in most animals, the body is fixed, damage reduces function, recovery is limited, but here the body is flexible, it can rebuild itself from fragments. And that raises another question. Where is the blueprint? Because to rebuild something accurately, there has to be information, instructions, a way to organize structure. In these animals, that information is stored at the cellular level. Cells communicate, they send signals, they respond to position, and together, they coordinate reconstruction, which allows the body to rebuild, not just randomly, but correctly. And this is where it becomes more than just a biological curiosity, because regeneration is something all organisms do. To a limited extent, humans heal wounds, skin repairs itself, bones can recover after damage, but the process stops there. We don't regrow limbs, we don't rebuild complex structures, and understanding why is one of the key questions in biology, because if that limitation could be changed, it would redefine recovery. But regeneration isn't without cost. It requires energy, time, and control. Too much growth, or uncontrolled signals, can lead to problems, which is why most organisms restrict it. They prioritize stability over reconstruction. But these animals operate differently. They allow growth to continue under strict control. And that control is what makes regeneration possible. Without it, the system wouldn't work. It would produce errors, structures in the wrong place, incomplete forms, but instead, it produces something functional and repeatable. Which is why scientists continue to study these organisms, because they represent something rare, a system that doesn't just repair damage, but reverses it, and that changes how we think about the body, not as something fixed, but as something that can be rebuilt, given the right signals, the right conditions, and the right level of control. But even with all of this, there's something else that stands out. These animals aren't aggressive, they don't dominate their environment, they don't rely on speed or strength. Their advantage is recovery, the ability to lose something and return to normal. Which creates a different kind of resilience, not avoiding damage, but overcoming it. And that's what makes regeneration so unusual, because instead of preventing failure, it allows recovery from it. Repeatedly. And accurately, which is why the axolotl and organisms like it are often described as some of the most remarkable examples of biological repair, not because they avoid damage, but because damage doesn't define them. It becomes part of the process, and that ability to rebuild instead of break is what sets them apart.